host cannot give permission, nobody else can record, even though you can see the record button.
Okay.
Well, it tells me it's recording. I got a little button at the top right or top left that says recording.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then let's go with it. Whoever saw that, good job.
Just give it a try.
Oh, it's been one of those mornings. Hi, everybody. It is October 2nd, and you guys rocked it in September. Woohoo! Yes, yes, just amazing. And we have a new director, Melinda Klein. Is,
Yes.
yay!
Oh,
Yeah, she made it last night. I don't have an official word, but she assured me everybody got it in, and you guys rocked it. So congratulations on that. Good job.
I'm on the Klein team. I'm proud.
Yeah. So how many of you are on here that are on her team? Raise your hand. Let's see. Okay. All right. So good job. But you guys, 811 new recruits last month on the team.
Wow.
And 569 or 589 the month before. You guys, my normal is 200 to 250.
Wow.
So 1,300 plus instead of 400 to 500. So, woohoo!
Do you know company-wide yet? A comparison as how many?
I don't, but I think we broke a record. I know they were really hoping to get hit over 5,000, and I can't believe that they did it because we were like at 4,600 and some in the afternoon, not the last day, but on Friday afternoon. And I know my numbers went from 600 to 800 in one day. So I can't imagine that they wouldn't have got the extra 400 or 500 that they needed. So no, I haven't heard yet, but I'm sure that they're going to be announcing that pretty darn soon. So let's be proud out loud. Who recruited last month? Okay. Tell me, how many did you recruit? 7. Woo! 5. 9. Are you kidding me? 1. Awesome. I did 4. 4 in 2 days. Sarah, how many did you do? 3. Nice job. Just amazing. Yay! And the sales really came in too. I had 25 directors be green last month, so I was very, very, very thrilled. That hasn't happened in a little while, so congratulations on that. Congratulations on that. I feel like we've turned a corner, guys. Anybody else feel like that?
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Angie, I want you to start out telling everyone again about what did your party end up closing at? Tell us from the beginning, because not everybody was on. So tell us from the beginning. That is such a great story.
Okay, I had a party in August, and there was a lady at that party who was like, "Oh, I want so much of this stuff, but I don't have any friends. I don't like think I have anybody that would come to a party." And so I said, "Oh, come on, you've got this." I'm like, "Let's brainstorm." I'm like, "How many friends do you think you have off the top of your head that would come?" She's like, "Maybe 4. And I'm like, "Okay, well, that's a good start." I'm like, "Those 4 can bring a friend, and then we're up to 8. I said, "I like to try and get at least 10. I said, "And then any extras is icing on the cake." She said, "Okay." And so we talked about just really going through all of her acquaintances between church and school and work and kids' friends and kids' parents and stuff like that. And she's probably, well, she has grown children. So she's, this isn't a young spring chicken here. This is a lady who kind of is set in her ways and newly divorced and really thinking she wasn't going to have great attendance. And honestly, I don't remember how many people came, but I know we had to keep pulling chairs and chairs and chairs. And she had, I think, 18 people. And her party closed at $3,274.25.
Wow.
So that to me was such a great story about we have an opportunity to, it wasn't so much for me to be able to provide her with a bunch of free stuff as much as it was how happy I was to be able to show her she had lots of friends.
That's
and
right.
support her. And that this was for me, I saw it as a bigger picture of it wasn't just me selling Paper Chef and making great money on one day. It was really opening up this lady to see the bigger picture about who she had that supported her. And from that party, I had a few bookings, and then I had a recruit, and then the lady has still been messaging me, and she swears she doesn't have time to sell, but she just keeps saying, I have more orders. Should I give them to the catalog party from here, or should I give them to the one who signed up from here? Or should I, so she's just, I guess, actively participating.
Nice.
So
I think Pampered Chef needs to tell that whole story to everybody. I know when I see Jean, I'm going to tell her about it. I'm going to see her next week. And so you may be getting a phone call. Because you know what? We need to hear those stories, because most people, Angie, would have turned that into a catalog or a virtual show. I mean, because she drove an hour and a half one way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I did drive an hour, and I knew, I was like, oh, my God, I got to make this worth my while. Please let this be worth it. And,
yes. Wouldn't have even paid the gas if they would have just ordered $25,
Yeah.
So, so congratulations. Great story. And what a way to kick this call off. Nice. And just to let everybody know what this call is all about, it's about leaving our titles at the door. And this is all about growing our businesses together, sharing ideas, sharing successes, sharing, hey, I tried this and this worked, or boy, I'm really frustrated with this. Does anybody have any ideas? Okay. And I'm open to suggestions on some things. If you want to do certain trainings, we can have some specialty phone calls. We have a whole bunch of people that just joined the business. I almost feel like we need to have, some virtual virtual training, or, come on once a week with training on what people should be doing with their new consultants or for their new consultants. I'm curious. I know, Kim, your team has grown a lot. I know you just joined us. How many did your team add this last month? Kim Gand.
Okay, we added 15.
Nice job.
We added, 9 of them were mine.
Nice.
But we got 15 in. I do have something exciting that I can share.
Please do.
Okay, so it's kind of exploding today, and so I'm really excited about it. So have you heard the people doing chemo bags using our little make and take salad jar bag?
I have, yes.
Okay.
Explain that, though, because not everybody has.
Okay, so hang on a minute. I'm going to go get it.
Okay. How many of you have heard about this chemo bag? Okay.
No. I'm in the process of doing Think of Veteran bags.
Okay. And
Same concept, but for veterans in need. So.
Okay. Let me rename 407. Who is that?
221-8383. That's me, Chris Kilby.
Okay.
Might be on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Did you get me?
Yes. Gotcha, Chris. Okay. Go ahead,
Okay.
Kim.
Okay, so here's what we did. I had one of our directors that just re-promoted yesterday. Jenna do a little, she's like a Canva queen. So she did a little Canva image for us, and it was all in pink talking about these little bags. And how our team is doing this chemo bag drive in honor of a consultant we have on our team that was just diagnosed with breast cancer. Her name is Lorraine.
Okay.
So she's just had a surgery and she's going through getting ready to start treatments and has to have another surgery.
Uh-huh.
So we thought, how can we rally around her and connect that to help build our businesses, especially since we want people green by the 15th. Now we have this metal straw sale, so we got to sell 500 by the 15th. So what we did, we put it out to our team last night with an image at the meeting, and I posted it this morning with the words to say to generate these chemo bag sales. So the bag is 8, but we're selling them for 10. We created an order form as well, and people pay $10. The $8 covers the bag. The other 2 will cover the items that we're going to put in the bag. And I've got a list of items that another friend of mine who has metastatic breast cancer, and it will be having chemo for the rest of her life every 21 days, has told me that that is helpful. The deal is, and this is what we did, they are not allowed to post this on social media.
Okay.
And the reason I wanted them to do that is I feel like us posting stuff like this on social media is killing the relationship part of our business.
Okay.
But we can still use that social media platform to private message people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I told them. Here's the image. Here are the words that you're going to private message to people. But you cannot post this on Facebook.
Okay.
And they've jumped on it this morning. They're selling like hotcakes.
Okay, so tell me how you're gonna use it.
Okay, so here's what they're going to do. We're challenging each consultant to sell 20 bags, which would be a $200 party. Okay? They put that $200 party in under their name. They can get the 60% off, the benefits of the $200 party.
Right.
Then when we start seeing how many bags are coming in, we have a freezer meal workshop at the end of the month on the 27th. That's when we're going to all come together and assemble the bags there while our customers are packing their freezer meals. And then we'll start delivering them. I have people in all different areas an hour or 2 away. Depending on how sales go in their area, they'll be delivering these bags to different offices and different hospitals that administer chemo.
Okay.
So
what are you putting in the bags?
Okay, so some things that my friend Erin says that can go in the bags. Unscented lip balm, because lips get really dry during those treatments.
Okay.
Nasal gel. She even told me that this can be purchased at CVS pharmacy on the bottom shelf. Apparently it's some kind of gel that works well because chemo dries out everything.
Okay.
Liquid tears, no Visine, just liquid tears. Ginger chews or peppermint chews to help with upset tummies. And of course, tissue packs.
Okay. And $2 is going to cover all that?
Well, no, we're going to pay for part of it.
Okay.
Plus, my church does something. We put out these. If you're in the Lutheran church or you know somebody that is, we have these that go out once a quarter. It's called Portals of Prayer. And it's a little prayer journal that's for 3 months. And every day is a different scripture reading and then just a little story that goes with it. So we're going to put Portals of Prayer in there as well. You will cover part of this cost yourself. We'll do some Amazon stuff for bulk orders. But it's what I told them last night. What a way. Where else do you have a job that helps support your family? You're working for a cause that's needed, and you're helping people in your community get through one of the toughest things they'll ever go through in their life.
Right. And really the money from those bags that you made could actually go towards filling them too, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. However you wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good.
But I think it's really important. It's not that I want to be selfish and I don't want people to see this. That's why I jumped on the call, because I want you guys to know about it. But I just feel like all those generic posts on social media is just killing us. And we're not making connections with customers. And when you make connections with customers doing this type of thing, that lends your credibility to these people, and they're more likely to come back to you.
Yeah. And you can even ask at your parties if you know anyone, you can nominate someone, to receive one of these bags. But that is awesome. That's awesome.
Kim, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last item after the ginger and the peppermint candies?
Tissue packs.
Okay,
Just
thank
packages
you.
of tissue that you can pick up at the dollar store. They come like 3 2 pack.
Thank you. And I have to say, being a cancer survivor, that's why I joined Pampered Chef to pay for my chemo. So this is awesome. Thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
If I can ask you to mute yourselves, 407-221-8383. I can't change your name onto there, but I can hear you talking. So if you could mute yourself, that would be awesome. I'm sorry that the original didn't work, the original number, because then I have power. Okay, so that is awesome. So your team is going crazy selling these bags, Kim?
They're jumping on it. So what I did, we had 15 last night at our meeting, but what I did this morning was I private messaged everybody and said, hey guys, did you see the post we put out there about the chemo bags? And then I'm getting a lot of stuff back that since it's lunchtime here, I'm getting a lot of stuff back, that people are checking their phone at lunch.
Nice.
Can you post some of the stuff you're posting or the sheets that you're sending out? Can you share those?
Yeah, I can put it on Nancy Joe's page, but I just really feel strongly that we just need to put something out there and ask people not to post this all over Facebook.
Well, and I think if you put a message with it, Kim, that says this is not to be put on Facebook, this is to be private messaged only. And explain what it is, or maybe do a little Facebook Live if that's easier, what I mean? And I think that people should respect that,
Well, and what we talked about last night on our team was you got to make the connections. And I want to prove to them that at whatever level you want to work this business, especially with that $29 kit sale, you've got to reach out to people personally. It's a relationship business. It's not, buy this from me on social media all the time.
Right. Absolutely. Well, now the kit is the new rebate. It's got a rebate on it for half. The 29 is over, correct? They didn't change it, did they? Okay. I was going to say that you don't know something I don't know, right, Kim?
Well, what I meant was we had the kit available for $29. So, a lot of people originally, I'm sure when you guys reached out to people, they signed up because what a deal, to get it for such a
and it's really you bought the opportunity to sell. That's what it was, because there was no product involved. So it's not. To me, all those people that signed up were not kidnappers because you got catalogs. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what those people do. I know I've talked to a few people about, I really hope that they put that in as, if nothing else, at least for the renewal people, because it gives them a reason to restart with a huge bang with the 90 days of free, etc. PC dollars, things like that. So hopefully they'll do that. So anyway, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think right before you came on, I announced the team had 811 new recruits this month, and I think that's almost double for record for us. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be great.
Congratulations to you.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a little like, what are we going to do to train them now and get them started and rolling? And and it's good. I'm glad we've got Chairman's Circle next week too, because I'll be getting input from everybody what they're doing. So we can start some things, but then we can expand on them. So.
Could I ask a quick question?
Sure.
The lady who was talking about the bags, did she say that they're excuse me, that they're available in pink this month?
No.
The post that we created with the picture of the bags and what we're doing is all pinked up. So I'll post that so you can see what it looks like.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry.
When I did the bags, I got together with a Girl Scout troop to do the assembly. So they were doing some customer service. So it was a good PR.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Cool.
Got me to introduce me to, more people in the community too.
Yeah, and when I did a work with the Girl Scout troop, I was just sharing this with someone literally yesterday. We did a mother-daughter tea, and the girls were in the kitchen helping me create little sandwiches and some cookies, and I brought some bread already made, and we put it out pretty, and the girls served the mom. They went around and served them, and it was an $1,800 show that they raised income. I just paid them 30%, and we donated the products back to all the mothers. We pulled, names, and they got an extra thing. But I donated my pay for them to go sleep with Sue the dinosaur down at the Field Museum. So it was really, really fun, And they needed, I want to say they needed $50 a girl, and I believe they made it. So, yeah, it was good. So don't be afraid to work with your Girl Scouts and your Cub Scouts, because they do have things they usually are allowed, I think, one fundraiser other than their cookie sale per year. But it's a great way. I got tons of bookings from it because I was serving these ladies and their daughters, and it was a big group. And at that time we still had all of our simple additions, and we set the table really pretty, and they were working on their cooking badge. Okay, so it was nice. It was good. Another reach out community service. What else can we do to generate sales and to be of service to people to get new leads?
What about 4-H groups?
Sure. So what can we do with 4-H groups? Let's expand on
it. Well, they do have some 4-H groups that focus on cooking, and it just depends on where you live. I think if you're more rural or not, we could help them with recipes, help them with learning to give back to the community. I don't know.
You can definitely sell some things and then give it back to the fire department shifts. Like our fire department is full-time, so they each have their own closet of cooking tools, and they cook every day. So you can do that for the fire department. You could do it for a battered women shelter. Okay. Just anything that they could use to help or to restart their kitchens if they've lost everything. You could do it for people that have had a fire, in their home, things like that. What else are you doing with sales this month?
4-H also has a cooking program. They have a baking.
Who does, Tammy?
The 4-H does. Because I know when I was younger, I was in 4-H, but I was in like the baking cooking group.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if every group has that or not, but we happen to have that in my area when I was growing up.
Okay. Sarah, you had your hand up. What were you going to say?
I was going to say something that I'm doing because it's a way of eating that I'm doing now. It's different, but I'm teaching clean eating classes, and I do charge a fee. They don't get any Pampered Chef product with that, but what they are seeing, because I teach 2 or 3 of them a month, they're seeing products in use on a regular basis, and it's creating a desire to have those products. So that's what I've been doing, and I've gotten some bookings from that. I got a recruit from that.
Awesome.
So, and I have another recruit lead from that. So it is producing results, as well as being able to help people to have healthier eating habits in their lives, and see recipes that they can be able to incorporate for not just themselves, but also for their families.
Awesome. I'm doing a fundraiser next Friday, or no, it's actually this Friday, for a family that's doing an adoption, and it's costing over $50,000 for this adoption for this little girl from Korea. And so they're doing a party. I'm going to do the salad bar, and the host has been doing Whole30 for about 6 months, and she is probably one of my thinnest friends, and she just lost 18 more pounds. So she looks like a model now, and she is going to actually talk about the Whole30 portion and the way of eating and things like that, because I says, I really don't know about that, but I says, I'll do the salad bar, you do the Whole30, and we'll have some wine and do, raise funds, because what we're going to do is just have it made right out to the adoption agency, the check. People need to raise money for a lot of different things, and as long as you can make the check out to an actual organization, it's all good. So I'll let you know how that goes. But thanks, Sarah. That's a good one. Anybody else?
Nothing wouldn't like that a few years ago, Nancy Jo. I did a fundraiser for someone adopting a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. It went very well. I don't know. I think it was $1,500 party, and of course now she has a little 2-year-old, and I just saw her at a booth I set up, and she's booking another party. She's ready to do another one, but it was exciting because it was a big, challenge. Sometimes people don't. It's hard to raise money. It's expensive to have kids on your own, and then it's even more expensive when you have to adopt. So that was a very rewarding thing for me to do that for.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I told her I will give her my pay. Pampered Chef will give 15. I'm going to give the 20, but then I'm going to match another 15, just as a personal donation. Yeah. So they're gonna. Hopefully, it'll be big sales, because they know that 50% is going to go back to this young couple that. And she's had 2 children of her own, but she creates blood clots in her system, creates blood clots after the pregnancies, and she's almost died both times. The doctor said absolutely no more. So they did and they had always wanted to adopt a child and give back. And so it's coming to fruition. It's wild, though. It's taking a full year. So they've known they got to sign this baby on the day the baby was born, but they really won't get the baby until she's over a year old.
Mm.
So it's that long of a process with South Korea.
I did a fundraiser last year for a couple, and this little guy, he's a month old yesterday. And they just got him 2.5 weeks ago, I guess it was. So this is a product of a Pampered Chef fundraiser for adoption.
Nice.
I was so happy. I was happy to be able to do it.
Awesome. That is great. Yes, Patrice.
I just wanted to share that this past Saturday, I did an event at the American Legion, and I was talking to the people who kind of run the American Legion, and they have this really, really big kitchen with this big middle island, and this event they were having was specifically to raise funds to help support veterans and their group. So I said, well, there are ways that I could help you raise funds. They're like, really? Like what? I said, look at that giant kitchen you have. I said, we could do freezer meal workshops. We could do a cooking with kids cooking class. we could, we could have a different theme and, have a workshop once a month or once every 2 weeks. And, you charge them to come to the workshop, just a certain amount to cover, whatever food they're going to be taking home with them. And, maybe to cover a few of the smaller Pampered Chef items that they will get to take with them. And then, let them use my bigger, more expensive tools and hopefully get some orders for those tools out of that. But, if we set it up as a fundraiser, then that would benefit the American Legion.
Good.
But it would get me a lot of contacts in the community as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Great idea. Another thing that I'm doing when I get back to Florida is the golf course, the local, one of the Port Charlotte golf course here is doing a Monday night ladies night in conjunction with Monday Night Football for the guys. All right. They're having a different vendor in every Monday night for the ladies and having a special event. And and they're actually going to raffle off the benefits. So what I like about that is my name. They're advertising it to 1,000 people, 1,000 households.
Wow.
In the area that are members. And so my name and number is going to go out in 3 months worth of newsletters 3 newsletters preparing for this thing. What are you laughing about, Angie? Oh, can't hear you.
Nothing. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, that's all right. What are you laughing about?
No, it's a giggle. No, it's nothing.
What?
Nothing. No, it had nothing to do with you. I promise. I got a message and I happened to giggle. So
Okay. All right. Thinking you had an idea. Yes, Chris.
Hi. I have a question about the fundraising. Nancy Jo, you said that you give back the 30% or whatever it was. Is it better to list it as a fundraiser and only give the 15% for Pampered Chef? I don't really see an advantage because we only make 15%. I just want to know what the group thinks about. Is it just better to do it as a party and then just give your profit instead of listing as a fundraiser?
Well, technically, those products aren't under warranty in the same way because they're going to be under someone else's name. I personally look at fundraisers as a way to serve the community and to give back and to, if you're giving your profit anyway, you can give the 15% or even give 10% to, cover your costs. They're usually bigger. Okay. So, and you have to remind the fundraising groups that we don't raise our prices to cover the give back. Think about it. Wrapping paper does not cost $11 a roll. Okay. Right? Popcorn does not cost $10 a tin. Pizzas don't cost $15 a pop. Cookie dough doesn't cost $12 for a little 2-pound thing. Though all those companies are doubling their prices so they can give you 50% back. So really the only person that's being hurt in this is the person who's buying. And what I let them know is they have hundreds of products of ours to choose from with no increase in price. If they spend $75, they're going to get a free gift back from the company that will be more than the shipping. It will be shipped right to their home, so you're not going to handle any product. And my average order for a fundraiser is $73. So what's your average candle order? It's 10 or 20. Okay, so the kids are gonna have to see 4 times the people or 5 times the people. And with our stuff, because there's no delivery, it's going right to people's homes. They can call Aunt Jackie in Florida and Aunt Carol in Michigan, and everyone can order without them touching the product. and nobody's overpaying for it. So people tend to buy more knowing that 15, 20, 25% is going back. So you actually sell more than you do when it's the edible items. People love that they're tangible and that they're not going to just go away after they eat a pizza. And they love the fact that we're giving back and that everybody loves Pampered Chef. So it's a little bit of a conversation with the organizers, and you need to show them the numbers about if each person sells $250 rather than just $100, you're going to make more money, but people are going to be happier with the fundraiser because of what it is and that they didn't overpay. Does that make sense? I don't know if that answers your question perfectly, Chris, but I know some people put it in as a regular show, keep the products, resell the products. Technically, that's not legal to do. If you're giving back your pay anyway, just give it to them the other way, and then it's all legal, and you've done your due diligence with the business. And every one of those people deserve a phone call because they weren't at a party. So you want to tell them the tips and tricks to working the products that they bought. Okay. And I always put a little note, send them an email saying, thank you for your order. Here is my phone number. Put it in your phone because I'm going to call you and give you tips, ideas, and a recipe to use with the products that you bought. You'd be amazed at how much comes from that in the way of future business and referrals, because the only thing that they have in common is that band, the church group, the camping group, the brownie group. Everybody has their own neighborhoods, relatives, and friends that aren't necessarily involved in that group. Does that make sense? That's why I love fundraisers. I'd rather do a fundraiser and give every bit of my payback to that group, because rather than stand at a fair and hope I have leads, not just people who want to win a rock crock, okay? But these are people that I've just given to before I've ever gotten from. Does that make sense? And it really goes a long way. When I need more business, I do a fundraiser. I don't go to a craft show. I do a fundraiser because now I've got 65 people to get involved with and serve and put onto my base. I don't know. Anybody else have any extra add-ons to that, or anything that they do differently? Remember, this is all about your ideas.
Janet has her hand up. I don't know if anybody else can see that, but.
Okay. Janet?
Just piggybacking what you said about the fundraisers. Those are great ideas. It's just, with my kids now out of band and the organization the way it is, they don't do fundraisers unless it's at least a 50% profit. And depending on, and it's straight profit, not what is donated back. So we only give up to 15%. So that does not count for, we would not fit into that, because I've tried it a couple of times and they were very adamant. And being a former band parent, I'm thinking, well, 15% is better than no percent. But
right.
Of course, they don't see it that way. And they won't let the kids do individual fundraisers. So if a parent come to me and said, I'd like to do a fundraiser for my kid to help pay for some of the, make a payment for the band trip, I says, you've got, I have to go back to them and tell them they have to go to the board and tell them that they have to discuss it with them before we can do anything. So, and it's just finding the Girl Scout and the Brownie troops and just getting that kind of stuff going.
It is. You got to do a little work. I find if you go to private schools, they're much more open to doing things a little differently. Okay.
Go
ahead, Tammy.
Don't forget your youth groups. I've done 2 with our youth group at church because they've gone on some mission trips. And working with the kids is so much fun. And we have a bunch of boys. Those boys that they're cooking are hilarious. It's more like a comedy routine for the church members because, like, oh man, they're crazy. So, and they've raised quite a bit of money for that. So that's a nice place to look at too for, outside the scout troops and girls and all that kind of thing. But look at church youth groups.
Church youth groups, and also I've done 2 kitchen fundraisers for churches to equip their kitchens with tools. Those were huge, $3,000 to $5,000 in sales, and we called it a kitchen shower. And the kitchen team had a ball picking out stuff for their kitchens. And so, yeah, don't be afraid to do that too. That's another great thing. Angie.
To kind of piggyback off of that, where I live, there's a lot of 55 plus communities here in Central Florida. And I've worked with several of them because they use their common area, their
activities room.
Yes, the activities room, which usually has a kitchen affiliated with it. And so they invite everybody from the park. They put a post a thing, and everybody from the park comes. I do a very simple recipe. And then there could be 40 to 60 people there ordering. They're really hard to get into because those ladies are busy. So you have to figure out between shuffleboard practices and like trips to the mall and, cruises that they go on and all this kind of stuff. And it is crazy good business. And these ladies like to spend money, and they have money. Usually they're snowbirds. So they have 2 homes, so they're just down here and that's the other thing. You have to get in there. You can't call them in June because they are not here, but there are a few that are standard on my schedule for like January, February.
Nice.
So we've done fundraisers for the kitchen at those places.
Oh, fun, because then they all get to participate and use it when they have parties.
Oh yeah, the kitchen manager comes and she points out what she really wants. So sometimes people will say, well, I don't need anything. What does the kitchen need? So they'll buy for the kitchen, and then they turn around and see it's in January. So they're used to doing it now where they get double the free product as well. So
nice. Well, and I always remind people about buying for their children if they don't need anything for themselves, because what will good tools help in your kids' lives, especially like this quick cooker. Oh my gosh, you guys! I hope you're having a ball with it, because I talked to Laura Teal. She said she sold one at full price at every show she's done since it's come out. Yeah, and I know I've made more in it than I've ever made in my rat cracks, ever cooking my rat cracks in the microwave. So I'm really enjoying it, and the everything that I've gotten out of there has just been wonderful. So if you haven't used it much, really challenge yourself to use it as much as you can in the next 2 weeks so you fall in love with it, and then you tell everybody. I mean, really, I've gotten my sisters, I've talked so highly about it that, all 3 out of 4 of my sisters already have it. And they're really excited for me to come and give them some lessons. So we're going to have a party, just a family party, and everybody's going to bring their quick cooker, okay? And we're going to cook something different in each one, and so that we can taste different things and see it in action. So, but I made split pea soup in 10 minutes for my kids. I brought it up when I went to visit Fallon. By the way, thank you for your prayers with Fallon. My daughter-in-law had a baby about, 3 weeks ago tomorrow. And she ended up getting a really serious infection while she was at the hospital, didn't know it, came home, 104 fever, was rushed back to the hospital. So I was there for, the baby was 2 weeks old when I left. So I took care of the baby for 11 days, and she couldn't have the baby at the hospital with her, and took care of her other 2 little ones and 2 big dogs. And I have a new empathy for young moms, Rochelle. I have new empathy, and it brought back a lot of memories. But it was wonderful. I was so thankful to to have the kind of job that I could go serve my children and answer emails and phone calls at night when the kids were sleeping. I was just so thankful. But she's going to be on IV antibiotics for 6 weeks. In fact, I called there on Sunday and I was talking to Juliana. I said, "What are you doing?" And she says, "We're hooking mommy up." I was like, "Oh my gosh." So it was really serious. So thank you for your prayers, because we almost lost her, and she was in ICU for 4 days. And so it was very serious, very serious. But she's going to be okay. She's not feeling great, but I think that's why, hence 6 weeks of antibiotics. So, and thanks, Angie, for all your help. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So, so we have about 5 or 7 minutes left now. So what are you going to do with recruiting this month, since you've rocked it the last 2 months? How are we going to keep it going?
Asking everybody.
Asking everybody. Are you guys encouraged by the number of recruits that have been brought in, that this is something that people are interested in? Are you encouraged by that? I know I'm
my
really.
New recruit. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
My new recruit, she'd been on the fence for a long time, and then when she found out it was $29, and then she'd get the quick cooker, she's like, sign me up. But what happened was, that was at our campground. We need to come up with, you and I talked about this last year, we need to get together and come up with a Pamper Your Camper party pack. I was talking about it at our camper, and the owner came by and says, "Give me one of those. How long does it take?" Da, 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 da. So I said to the manager, who's a friend of ours, I said, "Listen, he wants one of those. That's a show. Let's make it a party for you." So her first show that she submitted was her party off of it. I started off of a quick cooker. So I think I've sold 6 now in the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
yeah, it's awesome for campers, because it does.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Pamper Your Camper. If anybody has anything like that in their repertoire, I know Michelle Houseworth, who's a really huge seller in Ohio. They have a permanent camper and go all the time, and she just had a $1,500 show at her campgrounds with people, and she said it's just people buy stuff that does multiple things, like and they want stuff that's compact and has multiple uses. So, and they're cooking.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I had a script wrote up that I was using there for the Pamper the Camper. Of course, it needs to be changed, but I'd like input. We need to come up with something. It's out there.
We can help you with that.
Yeah, the sales are out there.
Okay, we'll put it. Yes, go ahead, Randy. Yep, go ahead, Randy. You got to unmute yourself. There you go. Oh, are you talking? There you go.
There's a couple different Pamper My Camper like posts that I can put on your Nancy Jo page. Because it would be almost too hard to put, like a set pack, because there's so many different things people would want in theirs.
Okay.
I think, you'd have to just give ideas and let them pick, because we have, we go to Arizona and we're in a 55 community, and I'll tell you, people do spend. They'll act like they can't, but they spend. Once they like you, you're in, they will spend. Yes.
Awesome.
Sure. Yep.
Good. Now, do you guys think it would be better as a virtual show, or invite everybody to don't most campgrounds have like a main room?
Yeah, I do one every season when I go down there, and my sales are always over $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have an activity building, and they post it out in the front board. And my last show was actually posted on their website, the campground's website.
Awesome.
Stop in. We're doing
Yeah.
this. Mine have always been well over $1,000 shows there.
Yeah.
And also
time. And I have a pack that I wrote up. It just needs updated.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And I have a thanks, Randy. If you could do that, that would be great.
Yeah.
And I know a couple of people that have run their whole businesses their whole time, 20 years, by doing things. If you're in an area that's touristy, through timeshares, where they do something once every week or once every other week, you know, at 9 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning before people go out and have their day, or maybe at dinner time, and they have a show, because it switches people every week. And what's nice is they can put in an order, and the order goes right to their home. They don't have to, it's not like they have to carry it with them. But I know some people on the East Coast that live in touristy places, and that was their whole business, and still is. Still is. Yes. Go ahead. Chris, go ahead. Yep.
Sorry, I had to unmute. So
Okay.
I live in Vegas, so I'm in a tourist area, obviously. So when you say they did timeshare, I don't understand how do they promote it?
Well, usually the timeshares have an activity sheet that's what's happening every single day at the timeshare unit. You know, the main activity room. And these people did a cooking class at there, you know, and they made it fun and they made it simple. And I don't even think people ate. I think that they just saw a cooking class or worked together as, you know, as a cooking class, or ate maybe what they put together. But yeah, they have all kinds. They have Mary Kay demonstrations. They have all kinds of things that they can do.
Thank you. So I just need to contact like a timeshare and get in.
Yeah, I would go there. I would go there with a small group of products and some pictures and say, I would love to give this class, because it's all about what activities, like they have bingo and they have this and they have that,
Yeah.
about what you can do for them and be an activity and a draw for people to want to come back to that place.
Great. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Call it a class, though. Call it a class.
Just something to add. Earlier, you were talking about doing like something in the activity center at a senior community. This was like 5-6 years ago. Just something kind of funny. The little ladies all gathered. Well, I'd had my carpal tunnel surgery. I was supposed to be out of my bandages, but then wasn't, and we were doing chicken. I was not going to touch chicken. So my husband ended up doing the cooking, and those little old ladies like, oh, look at this man cooking for us. And they bought and bought and bought, and it was so much fun just to watch these ladies giggle at some guy cooking for them. So have fun with it, ladies. Get out there and just have fun with it. That's the main thing. So.
Yeah, and Laura Teal said that she did the rice bowls, the chicken salsa rice bowl. I'm forgetting the name of the actual recipe, but she said people are going nuts for it, and they can't.
She's calling it the Chipotle bowl or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chipotle rice bowl, and she says she's doing the salsa chicken on the bottom and then the rice, and they can't believe she puts in frozen chicken and 15 minutes later it's done. So it's really selling that cooker. It's really, I mean, she says, I expect to sell one to the host, but when someone is buying one at full price, because ours is the Cadillac, you can talk about, and some people are saying, well, why are we so late to the market? We really took what was there and enhanced what was there and made a Mercedes-Benz out of it. Okay. And that's what Pampered Chef does. They watch what is trending, and they took a little longer than they wanted between you and me, but it's good. And the size is for the average family. Like my daughter has one that's 11 quart. She's got the big boy because she's got 7 people in her family, and all but her and her mother-in-law are boys. So there's 5 boys there. And but for the average family, they did the middle size because of how big it is. Because my daughter's is huge. It's huge. I wouldn't want to store that, nor would I want to cook like that, you know. But I'll tell you, the stuff I've done in there has been phenomenal. Just great. Mm-hmm. So highly recommend you playing with it and just start cooking with it. Okay. Anything else? Anybody else want to share anything that they're going to do with keeping recruiting going? It's 1 p.m. So I really
Not
want
on that recruiting, but I've got something interesting coming up next Saturday. I'm doing a Facebook Live party where I was going to go live, but the host is going to come to my house and do it with me.
Oh, very
Which
cool.
I think is kind of exciting and fun. She's all giddy and excited about that. So I thought, okay, we'll see how that goes.
That's awesome. Kim and I did that. Kim, I think, is gone. But Kim Gant and I did that at her house when we were snowed in. And we were supposed to go to a party. I was going to go to a party with her when I came to do her downline visit. We got snowed in, so we did the pasta fazool recipe, right? Facebook Live, and we whipped cream, and we had it with blueberries, and there was 15 people on there, and they, oh, it looks so good. I said, we wish you were here, you know. So anyway, yeah, it was good. But that's another. I love that she's coming to your house.
Yeah.
And it'll be so easy because everything's there for you, and her people will be a lot more engaged because of it.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Cool. All right. Anybody else?
No.
Okay. Well, listen, we will end this Idea Cafe. I'm going to be popping more on here. And it's just going to be, and you can invite your consultants. We can have up to 100 people. Bobby Lynn Bolton has the power. There you go. And so the Chipotle rice bowl recipe is right in the rice cooker, I believe. Isn't that correct, Randy?
Yeah, it's actually just the salsa chicken, but they add the can of black beans and the can of the Mexicorn, and then she makes the white rice in the cooker, 2 cups, and it's 2 cups water. And when that comes out, she just puts a little fresh lime juice and cilantro in the rice.
Okay.
And then they're just serving it in like little bowls, you know, like with Chipotle, instead of putting it on the lettuce cups.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Well, people are really, she said, they're loving it, and they're amazed. They're just amazed. And I would even suggest, like I said, when the ribs are on sale in my store, it's buy one get 2 free, to bring a little rack of ribs. If you're having a big, tell someone, if you have 15 live guests at your party, I will bring a rack of ribs. And because it's only $10, but people struggle with ribs so much. That would be an easy thing for you to give as a gift to the host instead of giving a product. I'll bring some ribs, and they just need one, right? They just need to taste. But I think that would be a great way to enhance that attendance. So,
yep.
Great. Okay.
Can I ask one quick question?
Sure.
That you say the Chipotle rice bowls are really popular. Are they really spicy or mildly spicy, or?
It depends on the sauce you use, the salsa that you're picking. And then we did, like, one girl did Southwest seasoning, and then one girl did Chipotle. And those can get a little spicy. If it depends on how much you put in it.
Yeah, I just use the mild salsa because people know that they can always spice it up.
Right.
But you can't back off, So if you just use, I don't like spicy. My stomach can't handle it. But the mild salsa is fine, and I don't put anything else with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can do a little bit of our Southwest seasoning. Just so you incorporate it and try to sell it in there. I take that back. I do add the Southwest, but I don't add any Chipotle or any hot sauce. That's on the side. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. Now, during this next few weeks or 3 weeks until we have our next Idea Club, make sure you're putting things on the Facebook page to share, or write them down so you have something else new to share. And Lisa, could you put that pie recipe on our Facebook page that you were talking about at Christmas?
It should be on there, but I can put it on again.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it's on there.
Is it pinned? Is it pinned at the top under files, or is it just?
I'll fix it.
Okay. And who would like to be proud out loud? My numbers are not updated yet, and so I don't want to say the wrong numbers. But who would like to share what they did this last month? And for sales, I know we had recruiting, but I know Lisa, you had a great month. Go ahead.
I've been doing the Parmesan chicken pasta in the quick cooker with a side salad and then a skillet apple pie. And it's a very quick show. I think I've cut my show down almost over a half an hour to 45 minutes. And because of the quick cooker, I have booked 25 parties for this month. And I recruited 9 people last month. And I had 8,800 in sales. So
what's that?
I think my sales were 8,800 with 9 recruits and 25 shows this month.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
That is fabulous. That is fabulous. Chris, tell us what you did.
I recruited 2 and I promoted to team leader. So I'm really excited.
Yay! Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Well, I just have to tell you something, Nancy Jo, because you know my situation.
Yeah.
I did my 3rd and 4th live shows since December, because I wasn't able to do live shows. I still have someone. Yeah, I had a spinal cord injury last December, so I didn't walk for several months. So I'm just now getting back. So I did 2 shows this weekend, and they are at 2,400 plus in sales. And then I've got 5 catalog shows I just did last month, and I have 3 more to close this week. So
awesome!
I'm just glad to get back out in the community.
Yeah, and I know you just had another new recruit, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I did.
Yes.
Our campground manager, actually.
Nice, nice, good.
Yeah.
Sherry, how about you? You had a good month too.
My sales were 3,200. I recruited 6 new consultants, and somebody else on my team recruited 1, so we added 7.
Woo! Yay! Anybody else?
I did 8,000, 5 recruits, and my organization did 24 recruits.
Yay! Nice job. That's awesome. That is awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else? Well, I had $1,700 in sales and 4 new recruits. So, and I took care of a baby for 2 weeks. It should count for something, right?
That's harder than doing parties.
Oh my gosh. But it was so funny, you guys. Real quick story. I was telling Fallon and Rich, I says, I have to tell you, I prayed and asked God for grace. I haven't taken care of a baby in a really long time, right? And I asked that this baby be really good for me. And I said, and I don't know if he's just answered my prayer or you have the best baby in the world, because I have never taken care of a baby that doesn't cry. I mean, this baby, the only time he cried is when his diaper was off when I was changing him. He didn't like to be cold. And I said, and he would just make some noises when he was hungry, right? Well, I was really blessed. He was just amazing. We're sleeping 5 and 6 hours from the time he came home at night, and 3 to 4 during the day. And so I said to the kids yesterday when I was talking to them, so I says, is Maverick still so good? They said, no, Mom, he turned into a baby the day after you left. And I said, okay, now I know it was God answering my prayers. He cries, he does this, he's getting colicky. And I said, okay, what can I say? But
when was your grandbaby born?
September 11th.
We got one on the 19th. There's my boys.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And he's very vocal when he's hungry.
Oh my gosh. Well, this little guy was in fact, I was almost a little bit worried because he was so quiet and so good. And so let me show you a little picture of this guy.
Can I toot my own horn for a little bit?
Sure, please.
All right, so I have a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old. It's crazy here in my house. I had over 1,500 in sales, personal sales, over $2,000 in team sales, and I had my new recruit submitted her first show.
Yay! Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful.
Team leader.
Here's little Maverick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Happy baby.
aren't grandkids the best?
They are.
I have 5 of them, and I always tease my kids and say, "This is why I didn't kill you when you were a teenager. It's my reward."
That's right. That's right. So, and here's Juliana. She's such a good girl, such a big sister. And there's London. I kept her busy with the iPad because she's a little terror.
They're super cute.
Yeah, but no, it was, and we can't figure out who he looks like, so it's going to be interesting. He's definitely got his mommy's hair and skin tone, but it's going to be interesting. His face isn't like the 2 girls, so we're going to see. We're going to see. But thank you so much for spending this time. Anybody else want to toot their horn? Here's your opportunity. Like I said, my numbers aren't updated or I would do it, but 25 out of 26 of my first gen directors were green. That was just awesome. I was really, really proud of you all, and you're really rocking it. I'm pretty excited about this fall. And all these new consultants, my gosh, it's crazy. It's awesome. I mean, I think we're adding about 20% to our end count. Wow. Between the 2 months. I mean, think about that.
I have a question. What's with these stainless straws? Because all I do when I talk about think of those, I get chill bumps because I'm thinking metal hitting my teeth.
Do you have one?
I don't have it yet.
I should. A metal one, Bobby?
Yeah, that's what this is.
You like it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a metal one with a silicone top.
Ooh.
That's what
Okay.
Okay. You, Lisa.
That might be for me. Yeah.
Okay. This is I was just at a restaurant yesterday, the Crow's Nest, and it's a really big movement. California is banning straws because of turtles. Killing turtles out in the water. And so it's a big movement, and they jumped on it. So, and ours comes with a cleaner.
Oh.
Okay. That's the difference. So we have an opportunity that's again makes us above the top, over the top. Okay. So, but we'll see. I don't know, Lisa, good point. I don't know. We'll see. So
for all you seasoned people, this probably doesn't seem so impressive, but I hit my 1250, actually over that, and I'm not quite at my 90 days, so I'm really happy about that. I didn't think I'd ever make it. And it was so funny because before my last party, I was getting really discouraged. I'm like, I just can't get any parties booked off of parties. And then the very next day, I got 3 bookings off a virtual party I was doing, and I'm like, oh, this is so much better.
Oh, good. Good.
And then I got another booking, and and then a recruit. So 3 parties and a recruit off that one party.
Nice.
So that
you'll survive.
to keep pushing through.
Good. Sometimes it just takes getting out of your personal group and your personal family to strangers. I know I couldn't wait to get out of my family because they're
family.
Yes. Absolutely. So try to get out of your immediate group. Remember to use the word classes, opportunity. Do you want to earn Christmas money? Excuse me. How would you like to have a debt-free Christmas? All those things right now are the words we need to be using because and people, there's so many different ways to cook. Like there's Whole30, there's keto, there's vegetarian, there's I mean, there's just so many different things, and people are wanting to learn a lot about food, a lot. And I mean, in my welcome packet to my new neighborhood, I mean, this just shows you how big food service is. Here's a HelloFresh coupon for $50 off. Your first $25 off your first 2 deliveries plus free shipping. I mean, trust me, all they're doing is shopping for me. I still have to cook it. If we teach people how to make those recipe lists and the menu planning, if we give it to them, they can even send the list to the store and go through and just pick up their bags or have it delivered to them. I know Jewel in my area, they deliver for free in Orland Park. But I also had Gray's send me something. And there was another food service in here. And I'm saying, oh my gosh, you know, we can do it for so much less, you guys, and so much more efficient and have more food. I mean, they have no leftovers. There's never any planned overs. You know, just teaching people how to take a whole chicken, have a meal that day, you know, from Sam's Club for $5, and then make a chicken salad or make a chicken ring. Remember chicken broccoli ring? Fallon wanted tacos one day when she was in the hospital, so I made taco meat. And of course, you always make double because you got to have a taco ring after having tacos, right? And you know what my son said? It was really fun. He said, "Oh my gosh, Mom, this brings such fond memories. You always made us taco rings, and when my friends came over, you always made taco rings." And he said, "Oh, I haven't had a taco ring in so long, you know." But the kids loved it. Everybody loved it. I mean, I took a turkey hot dog and wrapped reduced fat crescent roll on it, and my grandkids loved it. And you know, so there's so many little things that we can do to show people it's easy to have fun with food. Make it fun. So God bless you guys. I have a 1:30 that I need to use the restroom. Thanks again for I will figure the Zoom thing out. I think it has to do with where we're setting it up. But I thought it was this computer I set it up at. So I'm going to have to, I don't know. I can't even explain it. I don't know why it didn't work. I thought, okay, this week it's going to work because I'm here. But
I think you have to set it up for each individual meeting.
Yeah, I do that. Do that. But it's based on which computer you set it up on that you're the host.
Oh.
Okay. But I thought I did it on this computer, and I obviously didn't. So I went to my laptop, and it wasn't there. So I don't know if maybe Barb set them up at the computer in my Orland house. I'm just not sure. I will figure it out though, and